So the average British household is projected to lose another £2,300 in their spending ability in just 10 months' time.
I've got nothing left.
Now, to put that into context, that's over 8% of the average annual salary in the United Kingdom wiped out in less than a year. We have all seen and witnessed these soaring prices damage our daily lives. From our waking hour with our favourite cereal Frosties going up 16%, all the way to our evening cheese and wine combo going up a staggering 25%. Now, it would be easy for me to sit here and slate the United Kingdom's government, make another video complaining about how they failed us. But with the cost of living crisis projected to get much worse in less than 10 months, maybe it's better to do a video on what we can actually do about it. So I want to discuss not only the news and data that is on offer now, but also some ways that you can protect yourself with the new coming costs. Now, according to Grant Thornton and Retail Economics, the UK is only 3/4 of its way through its current financial squeeze. They expect it to last till May next year, 2024, and another £65 billion will be wiped out in spending power. Now, that's not the UK government spending power. That's mine and your spending power. The report says that cost pressures have left 2 out of 5 families financially distressed, with little room to manage these elevated food and energy expenses. They continue saying that as pandemic savings have been whittled away, the squeeze on finances has become a war of attrition for many households. Now, their report and data broke down just basically means each household in the United Kingdom is going to lose £2,300 more of spending power within 10 months' time. Now, if this doesn't hit home and my wine and cheese example fell on deaf ears also, then this for sure will. Many people watching this will remember that a Freddo Frog chocolate bar used to cost 10p. It was a staple of your childhood. They were always 10 pence. Well, Freddo next year is expected to cost you 35p. 35p for a fucking chocolate frog. And that really does get me angry, much more than the wine and cheese. It makes me hate myself. So what can we do about it other than accept it? Well, there's 3 big things all households must do, and I mean must do, not can do or should do. They must do to conquer inflation. And there's also one wild card I'd advise anybody to do too. The first thing that a household must do, and it is a very overlooked aspect, especially in Britain, is set up a stern budget. Data shows that as many as 38% of Brits have not budgeted on social spending. They basically just go out with whatever they have in their pocket and don't worry, let's spend it all. But the more staggering data suggests that 1 in 5 or 20% of the adult population in the United Kingdom do not budget their expenses at all on a monthly basis. And if that's you, seriously, go look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that Uncle Pete with his beard is very disappointed in you. But if you are budgeting like a champion, that's the first step. It's already done, but you need to prepare for what is coming. If you believe that this cost of living crisis is going to get worse before it gets better, then you now need to budget a further loss of £2,300 a year. It would be very smart to already prioritize which part of your budget you're gonna cut as and when expenses get too much. Maybe you'll also find that there's some things you can cut right now and free up some extra cash, which you could use for the second thing every household must be doing, and that is invest. Now, I do not want to turn this video into what's the best investment to counter inflation. If people comment enough, I can make that video too. But the reality is, if you have some cash sat around in a bank or under the mattress doing something, it's basically losing money. It's burning away little by little. You should get this cash working for you. You can even keep it pretty liquid. You could buy an ETF tracking the S&P 500, for example, which is going to give an average return of 10% if you look at historical averages, which can make sure that over the long term, your money is not whittling away doing absolutely nothing. Many ETFs are also, like I said, very liquid, so in a desperate situation, you can actually still access these funds. And you can even potentially earn a double win if you buy an ETF in a different denominated currency. If you think the pound is going to continue falling against the US dollar, then it might make sense to move those pounds right now into US dollar denominated ETF. That means that as the ETF goes up, if the pound goes down in value, you'll win twice on the dollar denominations when you transfer it back into Great British pounds. Basically, a double win. And it also adds some form of diversification because you're hedging with different currencies. I'm personally doing this every single day. One of the main brokers I use to do this is eToro, whose platform is only denominated in US dollars. And if you want to sign up to them, there's a link down on the pinned comment. And if you sign up with that link, then you get a lifetime pass to our eToro chat room. You could also buy commodities like gold or silver, which have been a proven way throughout history to beat cash and currency returns, and more so tend to do well in a recession, which everybody seems to think we're in. The key thing with this investing route is not necessarily to capitalize on returns. It's actually just to generate some kickback from your cash doing nothing to offset these high numbers of inflation. It won't kill out inflation. It won't make you 100% covered, unless you were in turn investing 100% of your paycheck. You're only going to invest a little bit of cash, but even that little bit of investment return will offset your losses on buying power alone. Now, the third and biggest way that households must take action on is a way that goes from defense to offense very, very quickly. And again, you should be doing all three of these, not just picking and choosing. The third way is simple: pay off debt. And I know it's sensible, boring, and serious. Now, let's say you have £1,000 on a credit card and inflation eats away at your savings 10% every single year. Paying back this debt in a year's time is going to be much, much harder because your expenses across the board are going to be more expensive. And then throw on another 19% cost, which is the average APR on a credit card in the United Kingdom. Now, yes, you should pay off your credit card every single month to limit the fees. We all know this. But statistics are showing that more and more people are living on credit on a regular basis. And if times get tougher as predicted, then it might just be the case that you're not able to pay it off each and every month. Having a credit card or some debt is a double negative on your budget because interest and inflation will work together to make sure you are staying as poor as possible. Many people in the coming months and years are going to find themselves constantly living on credit card and overdraft debts. So do try to do what you can, whatever it takes, to pay off the credit cards, the overdrafts, and all the small loans you may have. It could even be what's left on paying off a car. If your payments are £100 or whatever it may be, try and get it paid off as fast as possible. And once that is paid off, if you can still have that free cash flow from your budgeting tip earlier, you can now use that money to invest and offset even more inflation. One of my Patreons DM'd me back at the end of May, and this is exactly what they did. At the end of last year, they'd finished paying off their cars, their credit cards, and was using the exact amount of money they were basically wasting to the banks and put that money into an ETF following the S&P 500. As of January the 1st, his New Year's resolution was to buy in with that amount of money every single month. And his account now stands at a staggering $8,000, which might not seem like a lot to many, but he openly says that is the most amount of money he has ever had, ever in his life. And this is why I say, and not just to plug my community, although I am proud of this gentleman, but I would say go and join a community, even if it's a free one. It will help you keep focused on financial goals and maybe even help you save £1 or two. There's even some great Reddit groups out there which are absolutely free and can help you set up a correct budget. And now to the most crucial point: if you have a mortgage, it's more important you take this report more seriously than anybody else watching. Mortgages are the largest expense for UK households, and interest rates are rising. They're expected to remain high for many years to come. Many homeowners, I feel, are very much unaware of how actually close they are to being forced out of their homes and moving on to the breadline. And I don't say that to scare you folks, I'm just telling you, this is what's coming if people do not act. As a homeowner with a mortgage, you do have a few more options available, and I talk about them in this video here, along with raising some key concerns. Remember, things are going to get much harder before they get better, so good luck out there, and I'll see you in the next one.